This video is brought to you by my course SwiftData Bootcamp, a comprehensive guide to building data-driven applications. If you ever wanted to learn SwiftData, then this is the best course for you. Let's check out the different pricing that is available. You can see you can just get the course for 3 months for only $49. Then you can also get the course for 6 months for $89. And if you want a lifetime access and all the updates, that's going to be $129. And now check out the content of the course. Now this is going to course that's going to start with SwiftUI state management. It's going to go into getting started with SwiftData. You're going to learn about one-to-many relationship, many-to-many relationship, understanding queries, versioning, migration, persisting like genre, and filtering using enums, persisting and displaying transformable properties, testing, iCloud syncing, integrating SwiftData with UI applications, storing binary data with SwiftData, migrating core data to SwiftData. Wow, it has everything as you can imagine. And this is definitely one of the only courses out there. Check out the great reviews, and I'm sure you're going to love it. So don't let this opportunity slip away. Make sure you get the course. Thank you so much. So one of the final operations that is left to do in our simple to-do application is the update. Like, what if I wanted to change this particular title of the to-do item to something else, like feed the rabbit instead of feed the dog? The UI is not that important. You can create UI on your own. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add an info, some sort of a small informational system icon over here. You can click on that. It's going to show a modal with this value, feed the dog, and you can edit this. All right. So first thing first, we need to show the image. So I'm just going to use the image over here. I can use the system name. And one of the system names I can use is info.circle. And now you can see the circle or information circle is displayed. I can also use a spacer so that all of them are aligned correctly on the right-hand side. Great. The next thing we want to do is we want this image to be tappable. So I'm going to go ahead and simply say on tap gesture. And what should we do when you tap it? Well, when you tap this information, we want to show a modal with the clean car or wherever you tap, like feed the dog, already populated in a text box. And that will be in a different view. So what we're going to do is we are going to create another state variable. And you can call this anything you want, but I'm just going to call this selected to-do item. So selected to-do item. And this will be of type to-do item. It will be optional, and the reason it's optional is that because when the page actually loads, there will not be any selected to-do item. Inside over here, on tap gesture, we can go ahead and say selected to-do item. And since we are inside a loop, we can simply assign the to-do item to it. So that will be the actual to-do item coming from filter to-do items. So now it is assigned. Whenever it is assigned, based on that, we can show a modal. So let me go to the VStack. There we go. On the VStack itself, I can go ahead and say the sheet. This is going to show a modal, and instead of the modal depending on the is presented property, which can be true and false, we're going to make sure that the modal is dependent on the bindable item, which is also optional. So this is where I can pass selected to-do item, the one that is initially nil, and in the content, we are going to get access to the unwrapped version of the selected to-do item. So this will be selected to-do item, which will be bindable, and it will be, nullable or optional. And to-do item that we get over here, you can see right there, to-do item is the actual to-do item, the unwrapped thing that we get. So that's pretty good. So this means that every time you're going to tap on a particular info circle, we are going to assign the selected to-do item to the item that you selected. And whenever you assign that, the sheet is going to get invoked and it's going to do something. Now, right now, you can see the sheet is not really doing anything. So what we can do is, and you should probably create a new view in a new file, but just to make our life a little bit easier for the demo, I'm just going to go ahead and create a new view over here. And I can call this Edit To Do Item Screen. This will be a view. And we will have the body. Over here, we can go ahead and pass in the to-do item. So to-do item, which will be simply to-do item. And I can go ahead and add a VStack if you want to, if you want nicer styles. And I can go ahead and over here say enter title. But this will be populated by to-do item dot text or title. All right. Now, one of the things you see over here is the text. You have to pass in the bindable thing. So we can go ahead and say to-do item dot title. And this also doesn't really work. All right. So what we're trying to do is when the edit to-do item is displayed, and let me actually first display that. So let's go over here. In the sheet, we can go ahead and say edit to-do item and simply pass in the to-do item. So at least we will be able to display the edit to do item screen. So now if I go into my Xcode previews and I click on it, and you can see that it at least show us that modal. Now the modal doesn't really have anything in it. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to create a text field where the to-do item.title is already binded. This means that when you go ahead and change the title, it's automatically changed. You don't have to click a button to change anything. It's automatically done. So if I try to do this to do item.title, it doesn't work. So what we want to do is replace this with a var and change this to bindable. Bindable means that now it can be binded on the screen. So now using the bindable, we are able to bind it to certain elements on the UI elements on the screen. We can add a little bit of padding and we can change the style. That's up to you if you want to change the style to be rounded corner or rounded border. That's perfectly fine. But now what's going to happen is if I go ahead and let's say tap on mow the lawn, you can see the mow the lawn is already populated. But not only it is populated, I can go ahead and edit this and it will edit the actual source, meaning that now it is already done, meaning it is already updated in the database. So if I go back, you can see mow the lawn edit. So we have edited this and it's already done, which is pretty cool. Now, when you see this modal, yes, you can go ahead and add some buttons over here for done and cancel if you want to. That's perfectly fine. And modal might not be a good idea to show this. I mean, sometimes it is, I guess, because whenever you're showing a modal, you should probably show a done and a cancel button. That's just default things in the human interface guidelines. So if you want, you can do a navigation to the other page and you can do all sorts of things. But the main thing that I'm trying to show over here is that how this binding actually works and how using the bindable, we have automatically updated the source. So this is actually pretty cool that you can do that. In this scenario, do you need this or do you not need this? That's a separate question. Maybe you need this. Maybe you can come up with a different scenario. That's perfectly fine. But this is one of the options. Like if I go over here and I say feed the seal, all right, and it's already updated. You can see in the database it's already updated. So that's, I think, a really good kind of like a live editing, and you're editing live and it's going all the way to the database. So there you have it. Now you have learned how to create, read, update, delete, everything, all the CRUD operations you have seen. All right. So hopefully you have enjoyed this. And once again, check out my course on Teachable. I'm sure you're going to love that course. It contains a lot of stuff about SwiftData, and it's one of the best courses out there right now. So definitely check it out. Thank you so much.